Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the live broadcast today. I'm double streaming again. I've got Instagram here, I've got Facebook here. If you can hear me, please let me know. Leave me a little comment somewhere to say you've got me. Assalamu alaikum. So glad you could join me today. So today's topic is going to be on the subject of how supermoms do it all. Or you could rephrase that and we could say how supermoms really do it all. And I think that's a topic that a lot of us need to hear. I'm going to give you some really hard truths today and drop some truth bombs on you, because this is something that we all need to hear about. If you need to pop in and out of this live, that's absolutely fine. When you do that, you'll be able to rewatch this on YouTube and on Facebook. If you click on the tab that says videos, you'll be able to watch the replay of this. So let's get into it. How supermoms really do it all. So let's start. Let me drop this on you. How supermoms really do it all? They don't. Okay, I'm going to let that sit with you for a minute. How supermoms really do it all? Facebook? They don't. Okay? The truth is that behind every successful woman, whether she is a stay-at-home mum, whether she is a working mum, they have a support team behind them. Now, this might be, Assalamu alaikum everybody, this might be paid help, or this might be support from family and friends. But behind every woman who you think is a super mom, a wonder, how does she do it all? Behind the scenes, she has support. And you all want to be that woman. You want to be the woman who has created that life that she's always wanted, has created this incredible life for herself and her family. And the only thing that is holding you back is asking for help. So let's have a conversation about this. Why do you think that as women, we are so reluctant to ask for help? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Why do you think why do you think as mothers, we don't want to ask for help? Because way back when, I wish somebody had sat me down and given me the hard truths I'm about to give you today. I wish someone had stopped me from trying to do it all and running myself into the ground. And you know, when I did that, I suffered and the people around me suffered. Assalamu alaikum, Susie, so glad you could join us. Assalamu alaikum. So why do you think that people don't ask for help? I'll give you a clue. Because people, mothers, equate asking for help with being weak. And nobody wants to look weak, right? They think that if you ask for help, people are going to think you're weak. People are going to think that you are less of a mother. Because we've been fed this story from somebody in our lives, from somewhere down the road, that being a mum means that you do it all. And you do it all with a smile on your face, right? Well, I want to rewrite that story, okay? Because too many women sacrifice themselves. And I'm not dismissing sacrificing yourselves and serving other people, and I'll get to that in a minute. But you cannot serve other people if you're running on empty. How can you give if you have nothing to give? How can you, truly show somebody all your love when you have no love inside, when you're empty, okay? So showing the world that you're weak, that is not what you're doing when you're asking for help. What you're doing is you're putting your family first. You're putting yourself in a position where you can serve other people from a full place, if that makes sense. So asking for help does not equate to weakness. What is really weak is not asking for help, because that's coming from a selfish place. Asking for help is not selfish. Am I making sense? Is this ringing true to anybody? You don't want to ask for help because it's going to look like you're being selfish. But what's more selfish is not asking for help and your family suffering. It's your pride that is getting in the way. And I have been there. That is why I'm telling you this. That's why I want to give you this hard truth, that asking for help does not mean that you're being selfish. It means that you're being selfless, because you're sacrificing your pride so that your family and that you can get the help you need. Another reason, hold on, we've got some comments coming in here. We only need help from Allah and we do get it. That's true. Allah will help you, but you've got to tie that camel, okay? You can't say, yeah, Allah is all I need and Allah will give me the help I need. True, but you need to ask for the help. You need to take steps to get that help. I completely agree with you. Yes, make dua, ask Allah for help, but tie that camel and make steps to make it happen. Maybe because we feel if we ask, we won't get it and we'll feel isolated. That's hard. That's really tough if you feel like you would ask and somebody wouldn't help. But I'm going to go into steps later on in this video of ways that you can get help and more practical steps. Another way, another reason why we as mothers don't ask for help, and this one is very personal to me, and I think it will ring true for some of you guys, is that we don't ask for help because we don't value what we do as a mother. If we valued what we do, if we valued our role as a mother, we would do anything and everything to make sure that that is a priority. And anything that interfered with that would get delegated or eliminated from our lives. So for example, if you're a businesswoman, if you own a, if you have a big career, anything that interferes with that or stops you being the best in your career, you delegate, right? You find a way to get help so that you can be the best businesswoman that you can be. This is the same. Your role as a mother is, in my opinion, more important, more valuable. I wish somebody had told me that it's not just career women and it's not just people with real who get help. Housewives get help too. Working mums get help too. Because what you do is so valuable. I really want you to understand this, okay? What you do not only affects the people in your house, it affects the wider world over time. It's like a ripple effect. Think of it like a pebble in an ocean, okay? And the ripples that it sends out. I've met enough horrible people in my life to know that the reason that they're horrible is because of the way they were raised, and it was because of the way their parents treated them. Am I right? So if you think every time your son or daughter goes out into the world and they are kind to somebody else, that comes back to the way you raised them. If you think about the way, if your child goes out and they give up their seat on the bus, or they give in charity, or they pray, that comes back to the way you raised them. And Allah will reward you in whatever way He sees fit for what you did to raise that child. So you're not just affecting yourself, you're not just affecting your immediate family, you're affecting all the people that your children interact with, and then all the people those people interact with over time. It's this huge ripple effect that's going through time. What you do is so important, and I want to validate that right now, okay? What you do as a mother is hugely important. Don't ever let yourself think that it's not. You might have been in a situation where you were surrounded. If I'm assuming most of you are stay-at-home mums, but if you're a working mum, I will get to you in a minute, okay? So let's say that you're a stay-at-home mum, and you're in a room full of working women who may or may not have children. And they go around the room and they're talking about their careers, and they get to you and they say to you, so what do you do? What do you say? Do you say proudly, oh, I stay at home and I homeschool my children? Or do you feel a bit embarrassed? Do you feel a bit ashamed, even if it's a little bit? Do you feel a little bit ashamed? And you say, oh, I'm just a housewife. Oh, I just stay at home. Is that you? That's because you don't value what you are doing. That's because you don't value how important your role as a mother is. So I want you to change that story that you're telling yourself that being a mother is not important. It is the most important thing that you can do. And whether you work part-time, full-time, whether you're in the home, we're all the same. We all want the same for our children. We all have the same concerns. We're all on the same side. So I just wanted to put that out there, that if you're not seeking help because you don't believe what you're doing is of value, you've got to change that script now, because it's the most important thing. It's the most important thing that you can do. Right, I got that off my chest. Okay, so when I realized this and I had that light bulb moment, and what I was giving to the world was of value, that what I was doing in my home mattered hugely, that's when I realized that the reason I wasn't seeking help was because of that, and because I was feeling, because I was ashamed, and because I was had this pride that I didn't want to look weak in front of other people. So I got help. So here I am in front of you telling you now that I have got help. You know, however many hundreds of people are going to watch this video, I am a mother who gets help, okay? You do not need to be ashamed of that. So since about January, I've had a cleaner who comes and helps me immensely. She comes, well, she was coming twice a week, and that's been a huge help for me. I have other support networks in place as well, which I'm going to touch on upon. I want to give you ideas as well at the end of this video of ways that you can get support, ways that you can be a super mum, because super mums have help, okay? So what you need to do to build your dream team, okay, this is what we're going to talk about today. Actually, before we get into that, I want to get deep again with you. I hope you don't mind. I want to talk about who fed us this lie that we're living, you know, who told us that as mothers we should sacrifice everything, that we should, that we are expected to, that being a mother is all that we should need, that being a mother means not only that you sacrifice everything that is important to you, but it means that you sacrifice your happiness. Who told you, who fed you that lie that being a mother means you have to be miserable? Okay, who told you that? I don't want you to put it in the comments, please. Don't start backbiting and telling me who. In your mind, think about it, because identifying that person who told you that story or showed you through that actions can be really beneficial to helping you move past this idea you have in your head that you can't ask for help and that you need to do it all. And there are some women, you might be watching thinking, no, Gemma, I know somebody who doesn't get any help. I know this X, Y, and Z auntie. I know this woman in my life. She doesn't have any help, and she's got an immaculate home and lovely children, etc., etc. I'm telling you now, there's one of two things going on here, okay? If she genuinely doesn't have any support, and remember, support can mean help from family and friends as well. Either she has simplified her life so much to the extent that she doesn't need help, then she won't need help. So I am definitely all for simplifying your life if you can, but that can be hard if you've got children on board and you're homeschooling and things like that. But if you can simplify your life and eliminate unnecessary things, definitely do that. The other option for this woman who you think is superwoman is that she's on the brink of it all falling apart. And I've been there, and that's why I'm talking to you about this now. Either she's simplified her life massively, or she's on the brink of it all falling apart around her, and she's suffering and struggling and just putting on a brave face. All super women, all super mums have a support network. If you're just joining me now, that is what we're talking about here. We're not talking about how you can squeeze more out of your day, get more and more packed into your 24 hours. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how to do less so that you can live a life that you love. Okay, that is what we're talking about here today. So how are you going to build that dream team? First of all, again, we're digging deep, guys. If you want to build your dream team, you need to reflect on what the life is that you want, what the life is that you've always dreamed of. When you decided to have children, you didn't imagine that you were going to be miserable, did you? You didn't imagine that you were going to be exhausted all the time, going to have to sacrifice everything you loved. What was the life that you dreamed of when you had your children? What was it that you put in your mind? What was a priority for you? And that might change as your children get older, sure. But right now, I want you to think about that. And you're going to love this, guys. You're going to love what I made for you. I've made you a printout, and it's completely free. It'll be up on the website tonight, okay? I'll let you know on Facebook or Instagram when it's up on my website. But tonight, inshallah, I've made you a little printout completely free. You don't even have to give me your email. It's there for you to help you get through this, okay? Because I know sometimes putting pen to paper can be really, really helpful when you're dealing with things like this. So, first thing on the list, your priorities. Your priorities are the things that you need to do every day to give you energy, that give you happiness and life force and that invigorate you. That is what, when you think back to that life that you always wanted, okay? In your head, what is it that you envisioned? That is your priority. So I'll give you an example. This is my priority. It's probably not going to be your priority. It doesn't need to be, okay? You think about what you want. My priority every day is that when I'm homeschooling, I am completely present with my children and I'm giving them the best me I can give. That is my priority. That is one of my priorities. Another one of my priorities is that every day feed myself and my family healthy food and encourage a healthy lifestyle in my family. And I'm working very hard towards that. That is one of my priorities. That might not be your priority. And you'll notice one of my priorities is not cleaning, because as I mentioned, I have a cleaner for that. But a cleaning does need to be done. So I have help for that. So what is your priority? Maybe it is important for you to have a well-organized, clean home so that you can invite people around whenever you want and open your doors to people. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. If that's your priority, put it on the list. Your priorities, you always wanted to start a business. Maybe your priorities, you've always wanted to write a book or cook some, I don't know, start a cookbook or a blog. Or, I'm just speaking from personal experience, but whatever it is, maybe you've always wanted to run a marathon. Okay, put that down. That was the life you envisioned that you would have. So put it on your list. Okay, we're going to take steps so that you can get that. As a mother, put it on your list. You can live the life you wanted and be a mother and be happy, and your children will all be happy, inshallah. So we've got it on our list here. We've got your priorities. Okay, second on the list. This is where we have to, you have to think about the other things in your life that need to be done, but either they are draining or they drain your energy, you just don't enjoy them, but they need to get done. So I've given the example of cleaning. Maybe you don't really get a kick out of cooking, put cooking on there. Whatever it is that you find needs to get done on a daily basis, but it doesn't bring you joy, it doesn't bring you happiness. And I'm not saying all of these things you're going to be able to seek help for immediately, but let's start somewhere. Let's start somewhere, right? So put it on the list. Where is it that you need help? What is it that you need to find assistance for? I mean, even if you can't think of where help would come from, get it on that list, because sometimes just acknowledging that you need help and the areas that you need help in can actually be one of the hardest parts. It can be harder than getting the help itself, is getting past those barriers that we have in our head and the stories that we tell ourselves. So get it down on this list I've given you, where you need help. And then, this is the fun bit, you get to get creative, okay? You get to think of ways of building that dream team, building that support network that we all need. So I've touched upon this already briefly. There are two options here, okay? You can get paid help or you can get unpaid help. Obviously, there are benefits to each. And I think most of us would almost instantly be drawn to free help. Let's go for free help, right? But just as a side note, just realize that if you get unpaid help from family and friends, sometimes it won't be as reliable as if you're getting paid help. There might also be strings attached depending on the person. You might sort of owe somebody something, which is okay if they're a nice person. You can do some kind of swap and help one another out. But just bear in mind that paid help does have its benefits over unpaid help. So I've given you the example already. Priority for me was that I need to be completely present with my family. I need to be present with my family during their school time and give them my all. That was the vision I had in my head of what my life as a mother would be. And so that is my priority. But when I'm sitting at home and there's dirty floors and a bathroom to be cleaned upstairs and things to be done, that distracts me. And I don't know if you're the same, but if there's clutter and things going on, I can't really be completely present with my children. So I knew that had to be dealt with. And so I have sought help for that. I have just got a cleaner. And depending on where you live, the cost of that can vary, but it might not be as much as you imagine. So I live in the northwest of England, and you can get a cleaner for less than £10 an hour. You might be instantly saying, well, I can't afford £10 an hour, Gemma. That's all very well for you to say that, but we don't have that kind of money, She used to come for 4 hours a week. So 2 hours on a Monday, 2 hours on a Friday, and would do the basic cleaning jobs that needs to be done, floors, bathroom, dust things, right? So if let's say that's about £10 an hour, that's £40 a week. For me, maybe there's somewhere in your life that you could sacrifice something. So for example, what about if you eat out a lot? That costs between £40 and £60 a week if you eat out every week. £40, £60 a meal out. Maybe you could eat out less. Maybe you could do, whatever shopping it is you do. Maybe you could find a way to save on that. Look at your spending and see if there's a way that you can move the money from things that are not necessary to what I consider to be hugely necessary, which is building a life that you want in your home. This is your happiness that we're talking about. This is ultimately your family's happiness, and building this support team is really important. It is not selfish. Remember, this is not a selfish act. This is a selfless act so that you can create this life for everybody that you wanted. So if there's a way that you can shift money from something else to a cleaner, a gardener, wherever it is that's taking your energy from your family or from the things that you want to achieve, look into that, because that is what successful women do. I'm telling you this now. And as a mother, you can do that. I'm giving you permission, okay? Oh, Instagram's off a second. I'll just wait for Instagram to pop back on again. So Facebook, while Instagram is off, let's talk about this a bit more. Okay, so you can get a cleaner, you could get a gardener, you could get somebody to drive your kids to their classes, wherever it is that you feel that you need help. There are grocery stores as well delivered to your home at very little cost. If you're finding it very stressful to get out and to get your shopping done, especially if you've got kids in tow, I know how stressful that can be, then go for it. Get the groceries delivered to your house, and it's not as expensive as you think. Sometimes you can even get it delivered for free. So look into things like that. Now, another option I'm sorry, just checking on Instagram. Right, another option is getting help from family and friends. Sorry, Instagram, if you cut off. Sorry about that. It's poor connection in this office. So we were just talking about how to get free help from family and friends. Now, you need to get creative on this. You'll find that there are mothers who are in exactly the same position as you, who need help with something. So maybe you could share lifts to classes. Maybe your child, maybe they babysit your kids one weekend, and then the next weekend you babysit theirs. And that gives you time to focus on your priorities. Maybe that business you wanted to build, maybe it's really important that your house is organized. You could organize your house during that time. Whatever it was that you set your sights on, then you can use that time for that. So unpaid help. Remember your husbands. I hope that you've got a supportive husband. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes they just don't know where you need help. So you've got to ask them directly and tell them that this is important to me. I need help with this. Talk to your husband. Talk to other family members who might be near you. Neighbors. There's no shame in asking for help. There's more shame in not asking for help and your life falling apart around you. There's more shame in your family suffering than asking for help. So ask people who would be willing to help you. Because we all do. If you're under this illusion that mothers do not ask for help, they get it all done themselves, I've told you already, I'm telling you again, you can ask for help. Okay, so I think the final thing, once you've gone through that list, you've got your options, and get really creative with paid and unpaid. Another thing actually that you can do, I didn't mention this before, which is paid but cheaper, is look to female relatives or younger female friends to help you out. So after school they can pop round and they can play with your kids, earn a bit of pocket money, and while they're doing that you can get jobs. And I think in America they call it mother's help or something like that, mom's help, I don't know. But it's just essentially giving kids some pocket money to do very simple things like just play with the kids for a few hours. Maybe you've got a niece or a nephew who is a little bit older and driving. Ask them if they can drop your kids off to their classes and free up a little bit more of your time, and you give them some pocket money for that. That is a wonderful way of helping them to earn an income, to feel a sense of independence and learn responsibility, and it's helping you as well. So okay, you've got your ideas for dream team options. Last thing on the list is something that I think some of us might be a little bit nervous about, and that is, if I had more time, what would I do? And you've put your priorities. Let's say your dream was always to run a marathon. Your dream was always to homeschool, whatever it was that you had in your vision as a mother. So then you get that time, you freed up that free time with your dream team. What are you going to do? Are you going to be brave and take that first step to leading that life? So if you always wanted to run a marathon and suddenly, because you've got a cleaner or you've got a babysitter, you've got 2-3 hours in a week, are you going to use that time to work towards that dream? Are you going to be courageous, or are you going to use it for something that's not one of your priorities, that's safer, like, yeah, I don't know, hanging out with your friends and having a coffee, or I don't know, doing some cleaning or something? You're supposed to be using this time that you free up to build that life you've always wanted, to become that woman you've always dreamed of being. So be brave. I shared this quote in my last YouTube video where I said, create the life you love to live and have the courage to live it. So in that time that you free up, in that time that you create for yourselves, I want you to be courageous, and I want you to work towards those priorities. And I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited at what this could open up for you. And I really wish that somebody told me this years ago, that I can ask for help, that it's not all on me as one woman. I'm not holding up everything, that we have other people that can support us, whether it's paid or unpaid. So, just service is good. Serving other people is hugely, hugely rewarding on many levels, but you can't serve people and then destroy yourself in the process. You know what I'm saying? There's no benefit. Surely that's not what we're supposed to do. We are a religion that is not of extremes. We follow the middle way. We don't want to be really lazy and just think about ourselves. We also don't want to serve people and destroy ourselves in the process. Choose the middle way, and that's really what I want to encourage you to do. Choose the middle way, and that middle way in this situation is seeking help when you want it, when you need it. So this video, like I mentioned before, will be up on YouTube. I'm going to upload it onto YouTube if it'll help, and you can watch it back. If you're on Facebook, you just click on the videos tab and it will all be saved on there. And on Instagram, it'll be on my stories for, I think, another 24 hours. So that is until Monday at 10 a.m. You can rewatch it if you want to. So let's have a look. If you've got any questions, pop them in the feed. I know that on Instagram I did cut out, so I've lost any previous questions that were there. So if you've got a question that you'd like me to answer, please pop it in the feed now. As a homeschooler, I've learned to outsource some subjects. Yes, brilliant. I do exactly the same thing. Brilliant, Deborah. That's fabulous. So now my son gets taught Arabic and Tajweed by a tutor. I was trying to do it all myself and failing. Brilliant. You see, that's another example of putting your pride aside and asking for help for the sake of your children. That's wonderful. I do the same thing. My children also go for Arabic and Tajweed outside the house. There is a book called Small Acts of Kindness, which really shows the ripple effect. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's Western society. Yeah, because I think that's the thing. It's a really good point, Deborah, that now in the West, we are fortunate that people before us, generations before us, have fought for women's right to be able to do any job we want, to be able to be elected into positions of power, do any sports, anything. The whole world is now open to us in the West. And many parts of the world, we can do anything we want. But then the risk is now that we are trying to do everything. And you can't do everything. You have to set your priorities, set your dreams, set that life you wanted, and everything else find help for if you can. Okay, we are fortunate, and we are fortunate in the day we live that we have so many options. Yeah, and again, this is great, Deborah. Thank you for sharing all of this. Yes, society has changed. So she points out now that we live in nuclear families. So we live in families nowadays where we're very isolated compared to back in the day when people lived in villages and everyone was helping one another out, and the children would just, wander off to their auntie's house or their neighbor's house. And, but today we are very isolated. Even if we live in a lovely community and we do have relatives nearby, society has changed here in the West and we are nuclear. So you have to actively search for help. So maybe your grandmother who lived in India or who lived in somewhere else didn't ask for help. She did everything herself. But if you really looked at her life, did she always have 5 children in her home all day long? Did she really just do all the cooking by herself? Did she clean the house by herself, or did she have other people coming and helping. I guarantee you that she lived in one of these wonderful communities where she had help, and that was just a way of living. Yes, I agree with you about priorities. I'm exactly the same with my house. I don't have family that live nearby. My friends always make an excuse for not helping out. Yeah, that's tough. Being a single mum is extremely difficult for me. I recently made changes from switching groceries to be delivered at home. Brilliant. That's brilliant. It's a very small change, but it can make such a difference. Since mine was in preschool, I didn't put him into nursery. That's brilliant. So yeah, taking a toddler around a grocery store, it's very stressful. It's very stressful. And I do everything I can to avoid that. And we also get our groceries delivered at home. I think it costs us about £2, you know, and I think that £2 is definitely worth it for the stress and the difficulty. And sometimes taking a toddler around, you forget, you know, things on your list, and you have to go back again. It's not as time efficient. Definitely drains that energy, and takes that energy away from more important things. And so you're taking that negative energy back into your home when you go home, and you might snap at your kids in the car, and you might become that mother that you never wanted to be because you insisted on doing the grocery shopping yourself. So what do you think about it? Is that really worth it? But maybe you're one of these wonderful mums who doesn't get stressed out in the grocery store, in which case I want you to tell me how you do it. I've got a few comments here. So nice for you all to join live. I really do appreciate it. It's nice when we can have a conversation. Thank you so much for your insights. Even though I'm still not married, it gives me a lot of confidence. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. Love the quote. Yeah, I think that quote is John Irving, if you want to look it up. It's live the life you love to live and have the courage to live it. Okay, so I think that's everything. Just scrolling through. You keep freezing. Oh, I'm so sorry if I keep freezing. If you want to rewatch this, it will be on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and I will upload it onto YouTube, so that you can watch it then. It should be all right on YouTube, inshallah. So how can you access the material you are currently using for picture study? Oh, okay. So let's talk about picture study. The material I'm using for picture study is humbleplace.com, and it's a free picture study guide that we use. You can download it for free, or you can pay to have it printed out, and I think it costs £10 for it printed and delivered to our home in the UK. You can also do that in North America as well, and the cost will be whatever local cost it would be in North America, in the US or Canada. So it's a really wonderful picture study guide. So that's humbleplace.com. And she follows along with the Ambleside Online Picture Study Guides. So I think that is everything. Another small announcement is that there's going to be a huge sale on my website on Thursday. So everything has got to go. Everything will be discounted. I will not be restocking. So if you've been waiting for the Life of Fred books to go on sale, or you've been waiting for the Suffer Islamic books to go on sale, now is your chance. They won't go any cheaper. The sale will be on until everything sells, until everything goes. So that is on this Thursday. So yeah, I hope that helped you guys in some way. And if nothing else, you've at least realised that super mums don't do it all. That super mums have a support network, and that I have a support network. And I hope that gives you the validation and the encouragement to find your own dream team. Now, don't forget to get on the blog. By this evening, this will be there as well as the video. So you can work your way through this as I've guided you to, and hopefully it will be the first step towards you seeking the help that you need as a mother and building that life that you've always wanted for you and your family. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined in. If this has been helpful to you, or if you know somebody who needs to hear this, if you know somebody in your life who needs to hear this, then share this video with them, let them know, because sometimes it's better coming from somebody else rather than yourself. So I can be that person for you. Share this with your friends, and I do really appreciate all of those of you who shared last week's video. Next week's video is going to be talking about preschoolers again, because I know that is something that a lot of you wanted me to talk about, is preschoolers and learning at home with them. So next week's topic, Sunday, 10 o'clock GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, will be under 4, tell me more. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next Sunday, talking about preschoolers. So again, thank you. I hope you all have a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I don't know what, I think we're gonna chill out. We're gonna go visit maybe one of my nephews. It was his birthday recently, and we might go bowling or something like that. So I hope you have a great, great Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me here live. Share it with your friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.